Hello guys, in this video I've created a little project for you. I didn't know how to name it, I just named it first step. This is the IDE I use, IntelliJ IDE. It's my default thing that I use for everything, if possible. Um, and here I just created a couple of files for us to go through. And this will be a kind of next step for AWS CLI topic. On previous step, we set up everything for AWS CLI with the profile, right? And on previous step to that step, we created a user and we assigned something, some default policy to it, which was not very nice because that user has access to everything, and we will fix it right now. But we could just go there and fix it manually, but by choosing some other policies that we want to assign to it. But it will not be that interesting. What is interesting is that to try to keep everything configurable, or at least uh, on the level of some command line interface. Uh, yeah. Anyway. What I'm trying to say is we have a configuration. You see JSON configuration. This configuration is for allowing the user to have access to anything that starts with EKS, right? For all the resources. And we name it, at least the file is named EKS admin policy because this seems what it's about, to allow everything to deal with all resources that start with EKS. Seems a good fit for now for us, right? And we can actually execute this JSON. So it's a configuration. My point is that it's nice to have a configuration because it's easy to run it just once whenever we want to, instead of going through the UI and clicking setup and everything again and again, right? Just keep it configurable. That's the idea. Another thing, same kind of configuration that allows anyone who is assigned to this policy. In this case, it's a cloud formation admin policy. You see, it allows everything that starts with cloud formation. I mean, all action that starts with cloud formation. And we know that we need it for our user. So that's it. That's why we created these two. So as you can see, we have these two JSON, and we might have some kind of command that we can execute. Since we have right now this AWS command that we installed in previous step, we can simply specify what we want to run. We want to create these two policies. They don't exist, right? We just named them in this JSON file. And to do this, you simply do AWS, you specify your profile that we created previously. It's called dev EKS, the name of the user. Then we specify the resource IAM, the thing that is responsible for creating permissions, right, in AWS, this service. And then the action, what we want to do, create the policy. What policy name? The policy name is going to be, actually we have to rename it to something else. The policy name will be this. Let's just rename it. Will be our policy name for that first JSON. And for the second JSON, gonna be another name. Yeah, and hopefully if we run this, let's zoom it a little bit, it will create us a new policy. This way we don't need to click it ourselves. And you can imagine that we can automate this process if we want to, right? Let's do it. Let's see what happens. it did create it successfully, and there is a report about it, right? We can go and see, okay, nice. The one got created. Let's create another one. EKS admin policy. And this is also successfully created. So as you see, this is kind of a beneficial way to create new resources in AWS. You have a configuration, and then you can run it, and it will create something for you. Yet this configuration seems uh, dependent on the provider, because in this case it's only Amazon specific configuration, but still it is much better than just doing it manually. So we did this first step, and it's good. So you should be proud of yourself. Okay, we'll see what we can do next. The next what we can do is try to find that brand new policy that we just created in our AWS console. So just open this console and go and type policies. So we see it here, and indeed we do have these new policies that we created from the command line just recently. And right now what we can do is to assign these policies to our user. But actually the policy is not assigned to the user directly. It goes through the group, as you know from previous steps. So we go to the group, and this is our group that we created before, and 19 hours ago in my case. Then we click in here, clicking on permission, and here we have this add permission. As you can see, this permission and policy is almost like a synonyms, right? So then we can attach these two guys, right? And bam. And right now we have 3 policies. In the end of the day, we will remove this administrator access policy, because everything will be replaced with these 2 at least, and we will need a little bit more than these 2. I will explain it in this in a second. Yes, the next thing that we have to add, by the way, I just removed already this admin policy. Just before that, I'm not gonna return it back. We'll go from there. So right now we have these 2 policies that assign it to the CKS dev group, and we need 3 more. We need Amazon EC2 full access, 1. Okay, I guess let's search it like that. Sometimes it's confusing. Yep. Then we have another one, IAM full access. And we have to have Amazon VPC full access as well. Okay, here we go. Yes, so right now we have our EKS dev group with these 5 permissions that is assigned to our user. And this is everything we need. At least right now this user doesn't have full access, to billing, to everything, it just restricted to these 5 policies, and we're good for now. We'll be going from there. Okay, thanks.